Claire Reid, welcome to the Small Business Showcase.
Thanks for having me.
I am really excited to have you here because of everything that we're going to get into. But before we do that, I just want to know, for the people who have no clue who you are, who the hell is Claire Reid and what is the value that you add to the world?
What a lovely question. So I am an entrepreneur that started on a journey to solve food security at the age of 16. And now, now we're like 16 years later, a bit more, and we're well on our way to doing just that. So I'm on a mission to get more people to connect with the soil, grow their own food, and help other people to grow their own food.
I absolutely love it. And that's exactly why I wanted to have you on here. So let's dive into the detail. Can you tell me, how do you elevate a pitch or explain real gardening to someone who's never heard of you before?
Cool. So real gardening is a pre-fertilized seed tape. Simply put, it is a clever little piece of paper that we designed that contains seed, correctly spaced, and it's all printed. So you just need to put the paper in the ground so that you can see the colored area above the soil, and you add water. And we save 80% water. We make seeds grow better, all the fertilizers in there. So really it's just about the just add water concept of gardening.
So now take me back to this 16-year-old in you. Like, what's the catalyst for you wanting to solve this problem? And more specifically, how does it come about that this becomes a deep need for you to solve this?
So it started from an entrepreneurial side of things. I've always been a kid that was taught I needed to make pocket money. My parents didn't hand it to me. And at the age of 16, I was told that if I planted vegetables at home, my parents would buy the vegetables from me. And I thought, well, how difficult is it to grow your own vegetables? I only had 2 square meters to grow in. We lived in a really small house. And I was overwhelmed with the entire process. I didn't know what seed to buy. I felt like the packets of seed I was buying at the shops contained far more seed than I needed. I just wanted to know, what do I plant in Johannesburg at this time of year for this amount of space I had? And really that was the catalyst for me starting to look at, well, how do I make planting simpler? And in speaking with a lot of other people that had tried to grow their own food, everyone went, oh my word, I don't have green fingers. I can't try it again. I never knew what I was doing. Seeds popped out and I couldn't remember what they were. I didn't know if they were weeds. And the whole way through my adolescence and into my early teens, this was being echoed back to me. And it was at that point, I was about 21 at the time. I had just graduated architecture and I took the leap to go, well, it's been an idea that I've been utilizing and I used as a school science project. How do I take it to the next step and actually manufacture and bring it to market?
I mean, that is quite incredible, right? Because I always say to anybody who comes here, oftentimes they're trying to solve a pain point. But there's one thing that's being frustrated with, I don't understand how this gardening thing works. It's a whole other story to actually go through the rigorous process to come out with this product that you're kind of...
A garden in a box.
Yeah, we'll kind of give you this. Yeah, it is literally a garden in a box.
So that box you plant it over a full year. It feeds a family of 4 with 1 serving of vegetables every day for a full year, and it's 250 Rand. So this is basically the culmination of,
yes.
I didn't have this when I started. Yes. It's, grown, but this is the product now.
Yes. And now it only took 16 years to
only. Yeah.
So how is it going?
It is going so well. So we had been focused a lot on school gardens, putting learning gardens into schools. We created something called a Learn and Grow Kit, have implemented close to about 4,500 school gardens, was going really, really well. We had, in parallel to that for quite some time, been doing corporate branded, custom branded marketing stuff. So because you can print anything on the seed tape. So it becomes a plantable marketing tool. So we've done beautiful things for the likes of Unilever, for some of their brands. And then we were approached to manufacture the Checkers Little Garden campaign.
Wow.
And that was amazing. It put us into a whole different scale bracket. We had to all of a sudden invest in machinery. I mean, we were commissioned to make 20 million units in 16 weeks.
Wow.
So you have to understand, before this, our biggest thing we'd ever done was for Unilever, and that was 200,000 units in 6 months. We now had to do 20 million in 4 months. And we went, of course we can do it. As you do as an entrepreneur, you don't quite understand the scale. So went down the scale thing. We had to now reduce our costs because the point of, the cost thing needed to come down. So it was a great journey. Then on the 9th of March last year, we had our factory set up with 156 people in Stratham Park, ready to go, and then COVID hit. And then we went into level 5 lockdown, and we kind of just had to understand, how do we still do this, and how do we do it well? So that was a lot of learnings, but in doing that, and in trying to keep the whole factory alive, trying to keep people being able to do something at home, we started to experiment a lot more with household gardens. The schools were coming back to us and going, well, now the kids aren't at school, but they need their daily meal. Can we do something with household? So that was kind of where we started to see we'd been focused so much on school kits. We hadn't really focused on a low-cost household kit that was pro meals. Up to date, we had sold salad gardens and herb gardens through Builders Warehouse and Lifestyle, but it's a very different market. So we went into full R&D over COVID and came out with our full household garden kit. We still were able to manufacture the 20 million units for Checkers during that time, and we came out of this whole whirlwind of last year with a mission to get 1 million families growing.
Wow.
I'm giving myself 10 years to do 1 million families. I hope it takes less, but that's still a lot of families to be doing, or households within 10 years. And as of last week, we just started it now in November. As of last week, we're nearing our 5,000 mark. So It's a good start. And we're basically now working with so many NGOs, focusing on collaboration, partnerships, focusing on how corporates can get on board, how NGOs can get on board, how the private sector, we did a bit of a GoFundMe campaign. So really just trying to show how you can put a little bit of money towards making a family food secure.
Yes.
And then a lot of the households, this is the next level, a lot of the households came back and said, now we're growing, how can we start selling?
Yes.
So we re-engineered our app. We've brought our app back to the App Store, and it links into a whole sell your produce module that we're now bringing offtake agreements in place.
I absolutely love it. Now, you were actually nominated as a company, because that's how this process works. We say, who do you want to see on the show? And you guys got nominated. And then I also happened to know who you were, so that was quite helpful. But why I was particularly keen for you to come onto the show is because you're a little bit more advanced as a small business compared to some of the people that we have here. But you're solving, or you're attempting to solve, such a massive problem in a country like South Africa, especially, where we have such high levels of disparity between rich and poor, where especially during a COVID time, so many people struggle to feed themselves, etc. And then, at a time where we have more abundance than ever, and yet we are so disconnected from the process of growing our own food. I've just recently moved into my own space where, for the first time in quite some time, I've got a decent sized garden. And to your point, I literally looked at it and I was like, another time maybe, right? Because you get busy, and it's amazing. Once that, people I think have great intentions, but exactly like me, you're busy, it's bewildering, you don't know where to start, and then before you know it, it's 3 months that have blinked by. So the fact that you can bring out something that tries to, touch on all of these points. Run me through some of your thoughts around the process of us being so deeply disconnected from food. Because I know I've heard you kind of speak about this before, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So I think it boils down to the fact that we don't connect with nature at all. Seasons are not something that we actually take into account. I mean, I get excited when we're going into orange season at the moment, but actually you can go into Woolworths and you can buy oranges all year round. They're just flown in from different parts of the world. But we really, we're in this society where we're disconnected from a seasonality point of view. Lots of people don't actually understand that you can't plant certain things the whole year round.
Yes.
And then we're also in a instantaneous gratification environment. So the fact that a tomato takes 90 days,
Yes.
if you're lucky, to grow is just, I mean, it's a lifetime for so many people. So I kind of feel like this instantaneous, gratification environment we're in, coupled with completely just not really understanding seasons or soil, or it's not even part of our playtime really anymore. And then food is, we've got a really quick and easy relationship with food now, and we know what good healthy food is, but we're also in a horrible era where healthy food is so expensive.
Yes.
And it's become elitist or unobtainable. And I think all of this kind of coupled has just, people just look at food as fuel, that, if we could plug ourselves into a petrol pump and it could cost less, that's probably what we would do. Whereas if we actually step back and just start at the basics, as Mark, just plant your first seed.
Yes.
And then you go through that process of, that is my bean, or that's my beetroot. And then you actually taste. A great example is a red pepper or a green pepper. If you taste one that you've grown on your plant, and then you taste one that you buy at the shops, it is night and day. Then you actually realize how little flavor there is in the food we're buying.
Yes.
Because it's not getting the time on the plant, and it's not got the nutrients in from the soil. So I kind of feel like it's gotten to this place where food, and it's just something we're scared of. I think it's just we're overwhelmed, we're scared of it. I don't want to be an agronomist, I don't want to be a farmer. It's seen as like a backwards profession. And so when we go into a lot of the schools and we start talking about getting your hands dirty and starting to grow food, a lot of the kids go, well, when I grow up, I'm going to be an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor, and I can buy my own food, so I don't have to learn to grow it. And I feel like that's the crux of where we are, where it shouldn't be something that's done purely because I need to eat from the soil. It's a process we need to get back to as humans. I
agree.
It's an intangible experience that teaches you so many things that we're lacking, from patience to dealing with disappointment, problem solving.
Yes.
There's a lot that comes out of it. So sorry, that's a very convoluted.
No. I mean, I asked, and I think that's why people like you. This is where you come in, right? Because in a way, you're using a mixture of modern day technology, well-packaged products, etc., education. All of these things are kind of coming together for you to come to someone like me and be like, okay, well, I'll make it a little bit easier for you. And in doing so, I'll introduce you to the process.
Can I show you how much easier we're doing it? Okay, so this is the garden in a box, the household one. This is packed already according to the province, so you don't even have to worry about what season is what. So you can see this one is for Gauteng, Limpopo.
Okay.
There's a wonderful thing in agronomy. You need to know about crop rotation.
So I just want to show you, it comes with a cute little, I don't want to use the word cute. I mean, like this very nifty.
Simple,
like God.
Yeah, that's like your little map. Tells you each month what you're planting, but we've already worked out the crop rotation. So your soil is not being depleted, and you don't need to now become an agronomist to understand that. And then if you look inside here, your little envelopes are all marked according to so you just take out your April envelope.
Here's April.
And then you just follow your little April guide. So you divide your 4 square meters into 1 square meter blocks, and then you plant. And then we even give you a little spout you put on top of a Coke bottle. So watering is easy in whatever space you have. And you need to use 2 liters of water a day. So now you don't need to second guess, am I watering it enough? Am I watering it too little? And then we put in little fertilizer sticks. If you've got a problem, our app will tell you, and you just use one of these little fertilizers. So really, it's just like you take out your envelope and you follow the diagram and you add water.
I am absolutely blown away. This is why it's taken you 16 years, because I know in the real world, it takes huge amounts of time to make something very complex become very simple. That's really what you've done. And I think that it's unbelievably epic. And if there is any way that we can kind of shine a spotlight on that, especially in the country that we live in the times that we live in, both economically and then exactly as you point out, this major disconnect. Is there anything that I maybe haven't, I mean, kind of as we close off, is there anything that I haven't touched on that you would like to share when it comes to real gardening that people need to know on the other end?
I think it's, I mean, you've put it together so nicely. I think a big part of our business is we are a proudly South African company. We source top quality seed. We use, our labor is as hand intensive as possible to provide as many jobs for unemployed mothers. So we really are walking the walk.
Yes.
But I think a big part of our organization as well, we take a percentage of all of our sales and then we use those to donate gardens to schools. So we really want everyone to get growing. I don't want someone sitting in Sandton or Midrand to go, okay, well, this is only for someone in a impoverished area. No. This is really the most awesome way for everyone to get growing in whatever small space you have available with the most awesome organic heirloom open pollinated seed you can find. And you know that when you're buying one of these, you're helping someone else to get growing. And I think that's our whole thing, is just to grow together.
Yes. I love that, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Wow. And then the one last thing, sorry, Mark.
No, please.
Is our app. So it's on the Android store and the iOS store. It's called Real Gardening. You literally just go into the app and you tell the app what you're planting that day. So the 4 vegetables you see on your little map, you say to the app, today I'm planting these 4 vegetables. It will tell you exactly what you need to do every day, according to what you planted and when, and it'll even send you a reminder to water your garden.
Are you proud of what you've done?
I love what I've done. Yes, I'm proud, but I'm so grateful. I think it's not a proud feeling. I'm grateful that I've been able to walk this journey, and I'm grateful that people are going, okay, let's give it a go. Let's try growing for ourselves.
Yes, I absolutely love it. So Claire, that's your close-up camera over there. What I want to do is leave you 2 things, if you can tell the audience. How do people get hold of you, and what is your call to action or your parting thought? Over to you.
So to get hold of us, you can go to www.realgardening.co.za, or you can find us on Instagram or Facebook under Real Gardening. And my parting thought or call to action is please just get growing. In whatever small space you have available, you can have a couple of pots, you can have a couple of hectares, but you need to just take the first step. Go onto our online store. We've got everything from a 1 square meter garden all the way up to a 200 square meter garden. And all we want is for you to say, you know what? I may not have thought I wanted to grow my own food, but I need to give it a go. And allow yourself the opportunity for you to grow through growing.
I just want to take this opportunity to give a big love to Sasfin for helping us put the Small Business Showcase together. Literally, without them, none of this would be possible. So here's what I'd like from you. Number 1, please support these small businesses. A really easy way to do this is just to like and share this video so that more people can see this. And if you have a small business that you'd like to nominate because you've dealt with them and you love it, please let us know. Get in touch. Chat to you soon.